Ryan Callahan, great to have you in studio with us. We've enjoyed watching you, and great to have you here. You know these teams well. These are the two clubs you played for, and you were explaining to us off air that this time of year there's a tendency to maybe enjoy the wins more than you should and to really, really focus on losses and make them end-of-the-world type of stuff. For this Lightning team, who has this championship DNA I'm talking about, to now maybe start to feel it, maybe start to smell it. How different does this series feel to you with them having gotten these last two games?
It feels completely different, and you're right. This is a team who's been there before, they've experienced before, and you can see in game 1 and 2, they didn't have their legs. They weren't playing Tampa Bay Lightning hockey, but it almost seemed like in game 3, they get that goal late, they get the win. They outplayed New York, but it seemed like they got life a little bit. You gave a team, let them off the mat almost, you know, and now they have a little bit of life. They come out and they play their game again in game 4. This was a textbook Tampa Bay Lightning. They get the lead early. They shut it down defensively. They don't give up too many power plays, a power play goal late, but they played so well 5-on-5, and that's what this team does. They play well 5-on-5, and then they make you pay with guys like Kucherov and Stamkos who came to play. So you let them, gave them some life, and now they're running. And
you're going to give us a look at that Kucherov goal here in a minute and explain sort of how he became so wide open. But if we pivot to the Rangers, this is a younger club. And I think I said to Fox after game 2, being up 2-0, no one's trying to sell this as a bad thing. But it's a very different thing because they had been in comeback mode in the first 2 series. How different is it where you're now trying to protect against a team like the Lightning?
Yeah, it's a lot easier being the hunter than the hunted. And
why is that?
And it's hard just to generate emotion, urgency, intensity as you go into games. For the Tampa Bay Lightning going into game 3, they didn't have to generate anything in that room. They saw adversity and urgency and desperation right in their face. But for a young New York Rangers team to realize that, you know what, guys, we have to match that somehow. We're up 2-0. Everything's great. Everything's great. You can see the New York Post. Everybody's writing everything's great. Everything's roses. Let's plan the parade. But quickly you realize that if you get too high in those moments, it'll come to bite you. And you know what? The New York Rangers right now after those 2 games looked like they maybe got a little bit too high and got away from their game.
You know how great that city is in the springtime, early summer when the playoffs are cooking. And look, they can lean into the fact that we haven't lost in the Garden yet, and Tampa Bay is going to have to win there at some point. But just real quickly before you show us that Kucherov goal, if you're in that Lightning room and you've been through so much, don't you lean into that and just believe one way or another, whether it's 5 or 7 if we have to, we can win in that building?
Oh, there's nothing but belief in that room, and that's the thing. They've been there before. They've won before. And if you're the New York Rangers as well, you hang your hat on. We're 8-1 at home in the playoffs. We've won our last 8 there. So, boys, all we got to do is go home, win 1 game, and then we got 2 chances to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. So I think New York, after 2 tough games, that's the one thing they have to concentrate on. We're good at home. Let's go play at the Madison Square Garden in front of our fans and win 1 game.
Now, it's been reported to me, all right, that you're a Legler in training. Now, those of you at home know that there's nobody better with that tablet in his hands than Tim Legler. So I'm not going to put that in your lap.
Yeah, why'd you do that? That's pretty big shoes to fill here, huh?
I'm just telling you what was told to me. I'm not saying that you're under that kind of pressure, although a little bit. But when we see a breakaway like Kucherov in the middle of 3 Rangers, I don't understand. But tell me, how does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't understand. How do you let a guy, 86, Kucherov, who scores so many goals, wide open, you know, with that much time and space? And all that happens, New York's coming out of their zone. They're fine here. It's just a little chip out of the zone, but this is where they get in trouble now. You can see their forward right here in the middle of the ice. His job now is just to stop, right? He skates over this puck. He doesn't stop. He continues on. And as he continues on, he floats away, and now he's out of that middle of the ice. The other 2 guys to key on, the Rangers D-man, one of them outside of the dots, the other one right here. He has a choice. He can do one of 2 things. Come and cover this open wall that nobody's there, or take away Kucherov in the middle. Unfortunately, he goes to the wall, leaving Kucherov just absolutely come down wide open through the slot. As you can see here, great pass from Palat, walks in. He actually fans on this shot as well against Shesterkin, but 9 times out of 10, those ones actually go in. A little change-up, as you said, in the room there.
It has to be the worst feeling in the world. I can go right, I can go left. I go right, and there goes Kucherov left. And that's like, I mean, there's a long list of people I'd rather have on their own than that guy. But at that point in the game, did it feel a little bit like next goal wins?
It did. I mean, you got to a game where Tampa scores early, the big rig gets one early, and you know, obviously they're getting chances. But one thing about New York is they've lived and died on the power play in this series, right? They have no 5-on-5 goals, game 3 or 4. Actually, they got another power play goal late, but you could just tell how that game was going. They weren't generating enough. Everything was from the outside. They got some shots, but against the guy, the big cat, you know, as you said, Vasilevsky, he looked like he was locked in right from the start, and you could see that.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.